John Higgins, I'm Director General of Digital Europe, which is the tech industry association based here in Brussels. Yeah, the particular thing I wanted to talk about this afternoon was entrepreneurship in the digital era, in a sense. How is that any different to the guy who opened the corner shop 100 years ago and who was an entrepreneur? So what's different about being an entrepreneur in the digital era? I think comes down to probably a small number of things, actually. You can be an entrepreneur in the digital world and really achieve scale much more quickly. You can operate at a much faster pace, and you can have a much greater reach. Digital enables you. It's like being an entrepreneur on steroids or something. So it's about entrepreneurialism, but at a faster pace. Oh, well, massively. I think one of Europe's great opportunities and challenges is the single market. That's what we've been working on for a number of years now, is to create a single market in Europe, so that if you're, for instance, an entrepreneur in Stockholm, you don't just have to sell in your own country, but you can think about easily selling your products to consumers or to other businesses, depending on what it is you're in the business of, to see Europe as your market and not just your country as your market or just your region as your market. So I think the great thing that Europe can bring to the new entrepreneur is a big European market. That's the real prize, I think. And I think it's not so much to compete, in a sense, with other parts of the world, but I think it's to give our businesses as much opportunity as there is for a small business starting in Chicago or Atlanta, where they can see a big US market that acts more or less like one market, not entirely. So I think, that it's important for us to create this single market fit for the digital age, to give a chance to European entrepreneurs to thrive and do at least as well, if not better, than counterparts elsewhere in the world. One of the things that really struck me over the years is how different worlds exist in different sort of bubbles. So, the education world, I'm a council member of a British university. It's a very self-contained world, being in UK academia. Similarly, the startup world is quite a sort of different world to, say, the world of big business. And so I think we should never underestimate the need to break down the barriers between these different worlds. And in fact, one of the things that academics at the university I'm involved with tell me is that the interesting stuff happens at the overlaps of disciplines, and I think also at the overlaps of worlds. So initiatives like this hub that bring people from different worlds together to make progress together are really vitally important. That's a very good question. They always say the predictions are very hard, especially when it's about the future. And I think that is the case. I think entrepreneurial attitudes have got to become more embedded into each of us. It's got to become instinctively part of us to be more entrepreneurial in the way we approach life's challenges and problems and opportunities. And so I hope that what we will see is, over the next 5-10 years, we will just see good, solid, steady progress in inculcating a spirit of entrepreneurship in every aspect of what we do as children and young adults, and then as we go on through life. Probably the biggest single thing is that it's got to be being entrepreneurial has to be seen as a positive attribute by all those to whom you look for your influences. So whether it's your parents or your teachers or your mentors or your guides, you have to see that they think being entrepreneurial is a good thing. So that sort of mindset change, that it's good to be an entrepreneur and have an entrepreneurial attitude. And that doesn't just mean being in a startup, but having an entrepreneurial attitude to what you do is seen as a good thing by those around you and about whose opinions you care. think previous generations have also been entrepreneurial in their own way. So I think it's about entrepreneurial attitude being seen as a positive thing by all societies throughout Europe. I think it's really important that everybody has some enough understanding of all the relevant skill sets. So at the university I mentioned I was involved with, even at the university level, they do a sort of a key skills add-on that you can learn about communication skills, about teamwork, and various other things that are like an add-on to any discipline. Doesn't matter whether you're doing history of art or chemistry.
Right.
And so I think we've all got to have some basic knowledge of those skills, like, as I say, communications and about teamworking, the sort of things that are valuable whatever you're doing. So I think it's absolutely vital that you have multiple skills up to a certain level before you go deep dive down into your own specialization.
What I like to say is that it's not only important to pass a new law or to write a check for a company that's about